Hi, I'm John Byrne with Poets&Quants. We're back on Friday with Sandy Kreisberg, who is on vacation right now on Cape Cod, a place that I love very much. And we have a terrific candidate who's coming to us straight from India, Jayati, who actually is a woman who knows how to code. And she wants to get into Harvard's 2+2 programs, the Silver Scholar program, the Stanford and Wharton deferred admission programs.
Right.
Sandy, I'll let you take it from there.
Okay, Jayati. Those programs, as we all know, are very hard to get into. They've got like a, I don't know, John, 12% acceptance rate, but the pool is very, very strong. What they typically look for are people with scientific backgrounds. So with that being stated, I believe you're a good candidate, even though you're not the scientific background candidate. And here's why, we're going to explore why. So could you introduce yourself, tell us where you go to school and what you major in and what you've got that you think is really good to offer a business school.
Okay, so my name is Jayati and I'm an engineering graduate. I go to a school called Indian Institute of Information Technology. That's the IIIT, Allahabad.
This is helpful for everybody. IITs have a very strong record of sending graduates to leading schools, but you say that no one in your university or has gone to Harvard Business School, right?
Right. These are fairly newer institutes as compared to the IITs, but set up by the same central government. So yeah, and we enter through the same exam and everything. So good. Yeah, moving on.
Okay, yeah. Let's get down to the basics here. Let's go with the GPA. Do you have an idea of your class standing?
Yeah, so I have an 8.2, which is the top 18% of class. And in our class, it's a competitive pool of people who come in. So it's considered a good GPA as compared to the college that I'm in. So
good.
Yeah.
Good. So you think you're in the top 20% easily, right?
Right.
That is kind of what you need, at least, okay, for HBS in the 2+2 program.
Mm-hmm.
And you haven't taken the GMAT or GRE yet, right?
Not yet.
Yeah, you're going to need like 90% on both sides is my guess. It's just this 2+2 program is very competitive, okay?
So what score is that? Am I looking at
720, 730?
Yeah, right.
730 is a comfortable 2+2 score.
Boy, that's high.
Mm-hmm.
It's
but
high,
I've taken it twice during diagnostic. I don't know. I don't want to be overconfident on anything. I've taken it once during diagnostic, so I got a 620, I think, and then once I got 650. So
okay, I would work on that.
I'll be able. Yeah, I would be. I hope that I would be able to cross that barrier.
Yeah, that's if you're really look. This is boring and unpleasant, but it's a necessary truth. If you're really interested in getting into Harvard, Stanford, Wharton, the schools you list, man, you almost certainly, it would really help to have a 700 GMAT.
Sure, definitely. I'm working on it.
Now, you're also part of a very, well, I'm going to ask my colleague here. John, Indian males are a very large competitive cohort. What we have here, I believe, is an Indian female. How much credit is the female? How much distinction does the female do to get her out of that bracket?
I think quite a bit, actually. Because there are obviously far fewer of them, and because schools are very eager to reach gender parity right now. They're all in a race to enroll qualified women. And so I think that plays to Jayati's advantage.
Yeah, if depending on how many women apply, but
you're right. It's 700 baseline, definitely got to be there, if not better.
Okay. Okay, so that's all the bad stuff. You've got a lot of great stuff. Could you tell us about your startup?
Yes, so I have been in spite of my school being this coding, very technical school, when I entered college, I fell in love with the idea of business, and
Mm-hmm.
it started because I started going to this NGO because I wanted to see real problems, not just what we have as teenagers, but really go beyond that. And that's how I got inspired about business. So I started my startup in my pre-final year. And currently I'm working on a product that is a skill-based assessment for recruitment skill-based assessments rather than normal resume-based assessment. So we hope to inspire people to be more than just their resumes and actually build skills that can be used. So it's something like that. So I'm currently working on that.
Give me an example of someone you would help and how.
So for example, there is a student who is just involved in developing his projects, his technical software. He's not studying for a test. For that kind of person, the current recruitment process is like you have to qualify one test and you're in, and then you're interviewed. So this kind of candidates are often lost because they are very good at development of software, but not at solving a test. So that's what we want to remove. We want to be more, accommodative of actual experience and skills by using
Good.
situational questions.
You're
So
going to
your
have to.
biggest challenge is going to be to convince employers to use your assessment.
Actually, I have been talking to a lot of HRs right now, and they complain that the people we are getting in are very unidimensional. Like they're not able to contemplate the problem in real world. So by putting a test where you are getting a situation rather than a question, we are encouraging people to see problems in a real life context. So that's how I'm selling the product. Like
It'll be
we are
like
actually get tests.
your Harvard Business School interview. Okay.
Okay.
So that's your startup, and
Right.
And your goal is to work in VC, which is a hard thing to crack.
Right, because like I said, I want to be in a position where I can work with startups, I can be in that creative environment, talk to people about what's coming next, and work and help as much as I can with the budding entrepreneurs. Hence,
Okay.
I want to first, I'm really interested into that.
Okay, could you tell us what your internships have been? Some of them are impressive.
I started interning right from my first year in college because I wanted to explore different domains. The most interesting one was with RBI, the Reserve Bank of India, where I worked on a project for blockchain. It was for microfinance. And I got into it again because I was interested in that startup area. Apart from that, I've been to Indonesia once for an entrepreneurship project. It was through ISAC, the student-run organization. And we went there and helped the local SMEs out, figuring out their business strategies, etc. Apart from that, I've done like 2 small internships with local startups, in-house startups.
Yeah, boy, that's impressive. You got a lot going for you. Those startups are impressive. You've taken a lot of initiative. You're an attractive candidate. There's a lot about you to like, and it's very selective. You've accomplished a lot. You've got a GPA, which is a little low. GMAT GRE is, boy, you'll have to really get that over 700. The startup thing is attractive to them, but they don't know how to judge it. What would be very, very important for you to do is get funding. Anybody can have a startup. Not anybody can get funded. So when admissions committees look at startups, they go, oh yeah, blah, 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 that's a great idea. You're going to turn salt water into pure water, and then you've got another gizmo that turns it into, white wine. That's a great idea, but have you convinced anybody to fund that project? So they almost rely on the diligence of the venture capitalists to replace their own work. Admission committees.
So in my case, in my case, I did get a seed fund from the government of India under the Make India campaign.
That's good.
Impressive.
And
You got to
Yeah,
upfront.
and yeah, that's how actually it started. So I do have a seed fund, but I do understand your point. Like I need more funding to build the company, obviously, but I do have a minimum
Good.
stamp for proof.
Yeah, no, the difference between 1 and 0 is colossal. Okay. First one is the hard one. So you've got a lot of intangible great things that you have to make as solid and real as possible. That is my macro advice. Another piece of advice is if you're stuck for a Harvard essay, I keep saying this, and this is proof of the fact you can't give away too much information because nobody ever takes me up on it. To our viewers, if you are, including you, if you're stuck on a Harvard essay, what you should say is, my goal is to be an impactful leader in this industry space. I admire leaders like A and B, and there have been several influences behind the formation of this goal, and I'd like to tell you about them. You know, the first influence was my family, and then the second influence was a professor I had at college, and the third influence was a startup that I did in college, and the fourth influence was just the team experience I had working with people in the company. Okay, that would be a damn good essay, don't you think, John?
Yeah, there's no bragging in that either. That's just the facts.
Right.
Here's the other thing, and I think this is beneficial to anyone who considers the deferred admission program. Are you really just better off getting more experience and applying as a more traditional MBA candidate at programs, given how competitive it is, and the fact that obviously in 3 or 5 years, if the startup that Jayati is working on is a success, she's in a much better position.
You want my opinion on that? There's no penalty for applying to 2+2. There's no downside except the grief.
Yeah, just the work to do it. Yeah.
Okay, good. Okay, I'm going to close out on this advice by our beloved leader, Deirdre Leopold, who used to be the head of the Harvard Business School Admissions Committee. She says what she likes in a 2+2 essay is how being guaranteed admission for 2 years will allow you to take risks. Now that's asking a lot, but that's something everyone should keep in mind if you're writing a 2+2 program. If you could get a part of your essay in there saying another exciting aspect of the 2+2 program will be that given my situation as a 1, 2, 3, the program will allow me to take risks for 2 years. Probably wouldn't take if I were going to apply in 2 or 3 years. If I were going to apply in 2 or 3 years, I might take that offer at McKinsey. But now, if I were admitted to 2+2, I could tell McKinsey, I'll see you later, guys. I like you, but what I'm going to do for the 2 years is run my startup. Okay, so you're particularly situated to take advantage of that. Okay, that's our parting words.
All right.
Okay,
good luck to you, and forge ahead.
Let us know how it works out. Okay.
All right, thanks, Sandy, and to all of you out there. This is John Byrne with Poets and Quants. Thanks for watching.